Okay, so if you, after you've put some attachments on, like after you've gotten your major attachments on, you might be at a place where you want to start to do facial features. So I wanted to show you, these are the arms that I was working on before. They're hollow. There's a hole in the body and a hole in the arm that's connecting those two chambers. So again, I have just one air pocket inside my project. So I'm actually going to turn this around because I can access it better. But if you look at any kind of face, like even your face, your eyes are not popping out of your, I mean, some people's eyes are popping out of it, but not most people. So it's like a sunken look, basically. So you want to turn this into something that has facial features like cheeks and eyes and whatnot. And the best way to do that, honestly, I don't have water here, but you can also use slip. I'm just going to use a little bit of slip right here. And I'm going to gently take my fingers and start to kind of poke the eyes out. So I know that sounds funny, but if I take the clay and I start to push the clay down, it's going to immediately start to make eye sockets. And I'm gently doing it. I'm supporting it from the other side. So that when you do that and you start to push those eye sockets, you're naturally going to get, by doing that, you're naturally going to get a little forehead, okay? And it's going to make like this part of your face right here, like right above your eyes. So you're going to have that. And then this would be where the nose area goes. And then same thing with the, okay, you can definitely see it on the camera better than you can in person. But now that I've done that, now I can glaze the eyes in there and it's going to look like a face. And then I have a little smiley face. And so usually what I do for that, I don't carve. I can, but I don't. Instead, one of my favorite tools is the handle of my paintbrush. And so if I take my paintbrush, and if you're not looking now, then you're not going to know what to do. But if you take your paintbrush and just gently kind of roll it in a smiling fashion to make the face, because mine's a little crooked, so I'm doing that on purpose. His lip is crooked. So then if I start to push underneath, because obviously it's upside down, but if I start to push underneath where I had my paintbrush, then that upper lip starts to form. And so you start to get, just by doing subtle little changes like that, now all of a sudden you have a face. Okay, do you see? So it doesn't require a lot of carving. I'm going to have to redo the face because I did the smile upside down, so it's backwards, but I'll do it the right way. And then if you make a mistake like I just did, I'm just going to smooth this out. Sometimes you need to just a tiny little bit of slip to create a smooth surface. So I've just erased my mistake. And then I'm going to go ahead and redo it. So again, with the paintbrush, I'm just using the handle because the handle's really long and I'm able to get a nice straight line. And then I'll start to push that clay down. So it almost looks like I've carved it, but really I'm just manipulating the clay in a way that looks like I've just either added something to it. It's got a bump to it. This monster is getting a little creepy. Not going to lie. Okay. Sure it'll look way better after I add the teeth. So, I'm supporting my monster the whole time I'm doing this because I don't want the head to fall off. So it's important that you do that. If you do it and I'm like, okay, it's not defined enough, then I can just go back in, roll it again with the paintbrush, push it in a little bit, and then clean it up with my finger. And you can really get some really cool facial features. Now, if you have a creature like a penguin or which I just noticed he has a little beak on there, so I'm going to have to add that too. Or anything that's in like the dog family, bears, wolves, foxes, stuff like that, they're going to actually have like a snout. So you're going to have to sculpt a snout that comes out and then slip and score that to the face. Okay. Lions, cats, any kind of animal that has that kind of jawline. And so if you're unsure how to do that, you can definitely ask me. Actually, you know what? I'll just show you real quick. So you can take a piece of clay, and let's say I can do this with the beak for this guy. The beak is very triangular in the drawing, so I'm going to actually make it like a cone. Sorry, I'm doing it off camera. So I'm just making, it almost looks like a Hershey Kiss kind of shape. Now, this shape isn't that thick, but because I'm adding it to this, it's going to make it thick. So, and I honestly don't want it to be that protruding, but I can hollow this out without cutting it in half. Again, with my paintbrush, if I just take my paintbrush handle and kind of push it in there and roll it around on the paintbrush, I've just literally hollowed this out very simply. I'm going to tap it on the table a little bit. And then I can slip and score this right onto my project, creating another hole in here. Because here's the thing. If I hollow this out and I slip and score it onto this head, and I do not make a hole into the head to connect those two air chambers, this is likely going to have, it's called a pop-off in the kiln. The pressure will build up because if there's even the tiniest bit of moisture, not enough to make it explode, because we know that's what happens, but maybe just a tiny little bit of moisture in there, it's going to build up, and then I'll pull this out of the kiln, and it's going to be like off like this, and it'll be completely gone. So you need to really make sure you're connecting all of your air chambers so that you don't have a pop-off situation in the kiln. Okay? So any kind of little attachment. So that's how easy it is just to do facial features, and you start adding all those little details, and then that's when your sculpture really starts to come to life.